everyone. Sorry to interrupt all these amazing conversations that are, I'm sure, going on. There will be time after that we can pick up where we left off. My name is Philip Schuman. I run a company called RockChain. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Honestly, it means so much. That's a good start if I ever heard one. But we're going to be launching a new product tonight, the RockChain 3.0. But before we're going to do that, I want to talk about something that we can all relate to, and that's high school. So I know it can be a bit awkward for all of us because we were really awkward back in high school, but I want to talk about how our friends were grouped back in high school. So you had the jocks that were sure that they were going to play for the NFL. You had the stoners, right? You had the gangsters, lots of gangsters, right? You had that group of girls with color-coded gel pens. They were all determined to become doctors. They were the ones handing in their homework on time and making the rest of us look bad. But was there anybody in your high school graduating class that said, you know what, when I graduate, I'm going to go into sand and gravel. That's what I want to do. And of course there wasn't, because that would be a really weird thing to do. But this is a huge industry. So let's think about it. Sand and gravel is used to build the stadiums that the jocks wanted to play in. Sand and gravel is used in the valves and flaps that doctors use for critical heart surgeries. Sand is used to make the bongs that the stoners use to get stoned, I guess that's what they do. Even the gangsters with their custom cars, with their custom paint, in that paint there's fine sand that makes it more durable and brighter so that you know when there's a gangster coming through. This is a huge industry, and it gets almost zero attention. In fact, this is an $80 billion industry in North America. And again, it gets almost no attention. There's 8,000 sand and gravel pits in Canada. Most of them are owned by small businesses. And so in 2017 and 2018, we saw an opportunity from this. We saw a fragmented market with 8,000 independent operators and no one place that you could go to buy sand and gravel. And so we developed the first iteration of RockChain, which again brought these 8,000 sand and gravel pits into one platform where you could just buy in one spot. So an example of the fragmentation, in Edmonton, within 100 kilometers of Edmonton, there's 300 sand and gravel pits, represented by 118 different owners. So if you wanted a sand and gravel quote, how could you be sure that you're getting the best price unless you went out to 118 sand and gravel pits? And obviously this would take a lot of time. So the traditional method that this is done is you would develop a list by using Google or the Yellow Pages or whatever else you have. You'd then get on the phone, send a few emails, and honestly maybe even a few faxes, because some of these businesses have a pretty low tech adoption rate. And then that would get you your 2 to 4 quote output, and you'd select the best of those quotes. With RockChain, we take those 300 sand and gravel pits, 75 trucking companies, it goes into this funnel, or the proprietary algorithm that we have, and out comes the RockChain solution, which is the optimal solution every time. Since that launch, we added a couple different features to it. We streamlined it a bit so you can submit the quote request, then you can go move through the stages and then order the aggregates when you're done. We called that RockChain 2.0. It was mostly just cleaning up some of the noise on the platform. But when you're facilitating a transaction, you have to pull the customers towards the suppliers and the suppliers towards the customers. And we did a really good job on finding customers. We've got lots of loyal customers, and they really like our platform. But frankly, we did a terrible job with dealing with the suppliers. Out of those 8,000 sand and gravel pits, most of them tolerated us at best. Some really didn't like us. They saw us as a threat, and only a handful really loved us. And so our team set out to determine why this was. And what we found was actually very interesting. You see, buying has gotten a lot easier over the last decade. It's easier to buy things than ever before. We all know this. We use the apps, we use the different websites and the functions. Buying is easier, but it's harder and harder to sell. And this is very interesting. Take your local pizza shop. In 1995, as long as you had your ad in the Yellow Pages, people could phone you and order a pizza. Now, if you want to sell pizza on one of the fast food sales apps, you have to go through an 80-page legal contract. You're going to need a lawyer to review that just to sell pizza to a stoner. And so we set out and we said, let's make it easier for suppliers. Let's make it better. Let's try and make their lives better, and in turn strengthen our supply chain. And what we created is a platform where if you are an aggregate supplier, you don't need a salesperson to go out and find opportunities in your area. We will bring you the opportunity. We will ping you on your cell phone. Instead of going through hundreds of pages of complicated bid documents, we streamline that into our 18 terms and conditions that we try to keep standard on just about every quote. Ladies and gentlemen, this is RockChain 3.0. So here's how it works. So if you're a sand and gravel pit supplier, you go on, you create an account, you tell us where your pit is, and then we'll tell you about all the opportunities within a 200-kilometer radius of your aggregate site. So you can see those are represented on those little blue dots. From there, you can add them to your list. If you're interested in it, you can say, I'd like to read more about this, and add it to your list. And then you can go and read more information. So we've got interesting specifications on what exactly the material is that's needed, and also a transportation route that we think is the best route to take it for the most optimal transportation pricing. From there, you can actually just enter the bidding. You can provide us a trucking quote if you've got trucks, or you can opt out and we will arrange the third-party transportation. And just like that, when you hit send, we will present your option to the customer that's buying aggregates. And the best thing is as new opportunities arise in your space, you will get pinged with a new notification telling you that there is a new opportunity in your space. So you could be at the grocery store, you could be at your kid's soccer game, and you can run your business. We are on a mission to usher in a new digital era of aggregates procurement. Our supply chain is strong and growing in strength every day. So if you're a supplier in the audience and you would like to sell more of your materials, go online, drop a few quotes to us, and also send us your feedback. It really matters to us. We're trying to build something here. If you are buying aggregates or buy on a regular basis, let us be your next call. And if you're an investor that's looking for an exciting business, give me a shout. I'd love to tell you more about our business and about the amazing team that we've developed. And lastly, for the one person in the audience that I know doesn't fit any of those three last criteria, my mom. Just thanks for being here, Mom. Give it up for my mom. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you have a great night.